Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. Hi, everybody. Thanks for popping along for our Wednesday live. Hope you will find it interesting. Warm welcome to those of you joining. I see you all. I see you, Chris Davis. I see you, Donny Girl. Leslie, I see you, Dave. Good to see you there as well. Let me do my usual little routine and jump across onto the getters to see who's across there. So just give me one little moment so I can see the stream over there. So just pressing buttons here. Hopefully I'll press the right one. Here we go. And just like that, he can see himself on. And more importantly, I don't want to see me actually. The last thing I want to see, I can see you. Hello, Brian Baru. See you there as well on the YouTubes. Vicky, all the way in Florida. Thanks for being here. Hi, Melanie Bliss. Hey, Melanie Bliss, did you just say purebloods? Did you say purebloods? Because let me tell you, I've heard some people telling me in the past few days, apparently, to say the very word purebloods, it's racist. It's hurtful. No, it's not. It's not. Far from it. I'm going to tell you why it's not in a second. I want to say hello to Nettie Bradford. I can see you there. David J, good to see you. Ozzy, hello, my friend. John Gleason, Republican rocker, points to us as joins the stream and says, hope no one had a flight here today in the USA. That's right. All flights have been grounded for technical reasons. And I see Canada is also having technical problems. Anyway, Brian Brew says he's the purest of the purebloods. I'll tell you why there's no problem regarding saying purebloods. It's a statement of fact. Now, was it a meme? Yes. Is it accurate? Yes. That's it. What I say to people who get offended by the use of the term purebloods is suck it up, go and cry in the corner, and don't bother me because I don't care about your feelings. It's as simple as that. Hi, Canadian Mom. Good to see you. Old Baz. Good to see you as well. We got a lot of stuff to get through. And of course, because it's Wednesday, I am joined by, excuse me, my producer and good friend, Jed. So, Jed, if you want to come in and say, that's a strange icon you've got.
Good evening, David. Good evening, everybody. First time I'm back since the new year. So for me, happy new year to you all.
Right. Well, good to see you, Jed. And I think it's fair to say we've probably got pretty much everybody on the streams of pure blood.
Well, that's it, David. It's a pure blood stream, isn't it? And like you said, where their feelings start, my concern ceases.
Yep. Yeah. Well, see, this is it. I've seen a few people saying, we're going to get into Andrew Bridgen in a moment. We're going to get to that. But let's just, Melanie says our blood is worth thousands, billions it's worth. We're worth billions. We're all billionaires in the blood bank department. But the point about it is, Jed, that, I see these comments from some people saying, well, look, if you say pure blood, it's got kind of like some nasty associations, anti-Semitism, all of that sort of stuff. All this, it's all utter crap. And this is why I feel such solidarity with everybody who's watching this or listening to it, as the case may be. Jed, we went through hell and back to resist the jabs. And we used a meme calling ourselves purebloods, right? Because we were being called the worstest people in the world, granny killers, all of that. So I just feel that I am very suspicious about people who say, don't use the term pureblood, David. It alienates us from our comrades who took the jab. No, it doesn't.
Whoa, David. They were quite willing to alienate us. From society, from our jobs, from our wages. They wanted us locked up. They wanted us jabbed by force. They wanted all sorts of things, David. And so, their concerns, I think that's divisive. I really couldn't care less.
No, same here, Jed. We are aligned as ever on these matters. I mean, that's exactly how I feel. And by the way, hello to Stevie. Good to see you in the stream as well. And of course, Albert Clutterbuck, who points out he's not quite a pure blood, but I'm a convert to the cause. Absolutely, Albert. And just to say, just on that point, because it's important to say that I don't want to, I'm not discriminating against anybody. I understand there's people who took the jabs and regretted them, and Albert's one of them. And I have huge respect because actually, in a way, the fact you've seen the light is really, really good. So you're all very, very welcome. But yeah, one other thing. But again, before we get on to the first topic, my typical style rambling. But you know, at the moment we're seeing all these instances of sports athletes and such like falling over with all kinds of problems, cardiac and otherwise, on the sports pitch. And if you say, Jed, if you sort of say, well, that's, I mean, I don't, I put my hand up and say, I don't know exactly why you've fallen over and had a heart attack. I can't say that with any authority, but I can certainly, surely I can raise the question, might it be related to the jab? And if you say that, Jed, what the pro-vax lobby go is, how dare you ask us our status? How dare you? The same people, Jed, to your very point, that for the past 2 years were saying, listen, unless we see your vaccine status, you can't come into the pub, you can't come in. You know, do you know what I mean? It's oh yeah, you got video to back.
I just played in the background there, David.
Yeah,
In fact, let's make
look,
it nice and big
we
for
ask
everybody. There we go.
questions. Yeah, look at that, folks. You can see that going on in the background there. If we
That's normal, David. David, that's normal. You just didn't see it before the vaccine or before COVID. You just didn't see it, David. It was happening everywhere. I couldn't go around the supermarket without tripping over people that had collapsed and died.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Exactly. You know, so I just think that it's a bit rich from these people, Jed, saying, "Oh, don't call yourselves purebloods because it's divisive." I know, don't make assumptions about why these people have had heart attacks, and don't certainly ask their medical history. They're absolute hypocrites, and I'm calling them all out for what they are. Just so we're clear now. Okay, then, Jed. So let's get on to the agenda. So the first topic I wanted to chat about was the long COVID. Long COVID. Yeah, I do enjoy a bit of long COVID. Yeah. Wonder what causes long COVID, Chris Davies. Wonder what that might be. Well, the thing
it might have been the long queue for the jab. That's long COVID.
So we have what's this here? We have this story that's hit the UK today, Jed, and it concerns the Conservative MP Andrew Bridgen. Now, I know there's lots of people here who are watching this who won't know who Andrew Bridgen is. I did do a stream with him once upon a time, and he's actually probably, Jed, I'm thinking the only MP in Parliament who has spoken out expressing his concerns concerning vaccine damage. And Andrew has been pretty forthright in that. He's spoken in the House of Commons. He's spoken at subcommittees on the issue. He's been increasingly demonized by his party. And that all came to a head today, really, Jed, didn't it? And we're gonna, I don't know what, Jed, if you can bring up, if you go onto the BBC, well, this is a tweet. This is what did for him, right? So Andrew, there he is, Andrew Bridgen MP, said, as one consultant cardiologist said to me, this is the biggest crime against humanity since the Holocaust. Now, that's what he said. Now, I'm not going down the Holocaust rabbit hole at all. You might think by introducing that, in actual fact, Jed, he's given his enemies a chance to go after him, which I think he probably has done. But the point is, he was referencing with some. Yeah, I think we've got it now. Here you go, folks. So again, more for our American friends than the Brits watching this. Andrew Bridgen, here he is, suspended as Tory MP over COVID vaccine comments. I wonder, let's roll it up a wee bit, Jet, and we can see if we can It comes after the Northwest Leicestershire MP posted a tweet that compared vaccines to the Holocaust. He didn't. Jed, that's a complete.
No, well, that's what they do, David, isn't it? That's what they do. They do the straw man bit, yeah, and that's not what he said.
No, again, Jed, I wonder if you can flip it back up to the tweet back up and then come back into this, because
yeah,
it's so true what you just said. Look, there's Andrew Bridgen's own words. Jed's just bringing them up. As he's referencing what a cardiologist said to him. Therefore, by definition, he's not saying it. He's saying, somebody said this to me. And Jed, I don't know about, let's go back into the news story there, Jed. But,
yeah, I'll do my best, David.
Yeah, that's okay. Yes. So look, that's third
I'll just take
party.
Off screen for now.
Yeah, that's third party that there. So Andrew Bridgen did not make any direct reference to events in the 1940s. He just didn't. Someone else did. And he sort of. So anyway, what we've got is, this is so sickening, Jed. Tory Chief MP Whip Simon Hart said the comments had crossed a line and caused great offence. By whom? Prime Minister World Economic Forum stooge Rishi Sunak has condemned the remarks, calling the comparison utterly acceptable. Mr. Hart said Mr. Bridgen would lose the party whip, meaning he will sit as an independent whilst a formal investigation takes place. And then finally, Jed, I want you to come in after this, but there was the next couple of sentences. God, it revolted me. As a nation, we should be very proud of what has been achieved through the vaccine program. The vaccine is the best defense against COVID that we have. Misinformation about the vaccine causes harm and costs lives. Well, Jed, thoughts?
David. The thing is, every single government in the world and every single health authority in the world are all invested, and all the big pharma are all invested in this. Celebrities are invested. Big banks are invested. Everybody's invested. And this is what we've discussed in the past, where should there be another Nuremberg 2.0? And I don't think I want one, but I don't think there will be one. And the reason being is, if we had, in 1945, thereabouts, we had one enemy, Nazi party, and the world against it. We're now the opposite way around, so to speak. We've got a few people who are speaking truth, that and the damage that the vaccines are doing, and they should be stopped. Again, the entire apparatus of global politics, global commerce, you name it, it's all against global health, all against us. I'd love a Nuremberg 2. I don't think it's going to happen. And therefore, people like Andrew Bridgen, people like you, people like me, people like all these good people that tune in to the channel, are just going to get stood all over and talked down to and belittled and pushed aside and lose your job.
If you consider, Jed, I mean, the Parliament, there's 650 MPs. Just one, dared to speak out and raise questions. He wasn't saying to people, you shouldn't take the jab. He was saying, I think there's a lot of questions we've had related to vaccine damage. So shouldn't we investigate those before we continue down this road? That's what Andrew Bridgen was saying. In many regards, he was very measured in his comments. But the point is this, that Chris Davies is saying there's an echo on YouTube. I've moved together. Oh, hi, by the way, to Bioprotect Babe. Good to see you. Hello, Beth Pins. Good to see you as well over on the Getters. Some strange sound effects, Jed, coming in.
Yeah, sorry, I was moving my mic. Just while you're talking, David, I'll just mute myself and I'll go across and I'll have a quick listen to YouTube as you speak.
Okay, yeah. So the thing is here that no dissent is allowed, not in Parliament. These people. Hi, Louise. By the way, good to see you. I just spotted you over there on the YouTubes as well. No dissent's allowed. So what they're doing is they're making an example of Andrew Bridgen, They're basically sending the message to every other elected representative: don't you dare question what might be happening to your constituents. Don't you dare talk about those constituents who may have had, cardiac incidents, who may have likes of the Bell's palsies, all of the various things that some people allege are linked to the vaccines. Now, again, again, to be absolutely clear in this one here, thanks, Biotech Babe. I'm glad you missed. I'm glad you missed me, but I'm back. I'm back with a vengeance. The thing is that it's reasonable to question. And if you cannot question something, then something is very badly wrong. And everyone watching this, whether you're in the US or the UK, you know it, I know it. Things aren't good. Things are not healthy. Things are sick. And I'm not talking about the coronavirus, alleged or otherwise. I'm talking about the state of health of our so-called democracies, where one MP is not
allowed. Look at New Zealand, you'll get your news from us, and that's the only trusted news. That's a line directly out of 1984. But as you've done today, David, you've put out a couple of podcasts on various topics today, but one of them was the CDC have finally admitted about some about the adverse reactions and side effects to the
670, vaccine. 670 different types of adverse reactions. Not 670 adverse reactions. Unbelievable information coming out of the CDC. And again, a reasonable person, Jed, and I'm conscious we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube, so I know they're anti-free speech. We get that, and we don't care. But again, even to those stations, platforms, I would say it is surely reasonable when you look at the information the CDC has revealed. There's the podcast, folks. The Truth About Vaccine Safety, available on, if you go over to davidvance.net, you'll find it over there, or on the podcast channel, whatever. The data is, Jed, I don't know what you feel, but I think the dam has been breached. You know what I mean? The truth is just splashing out now, and it's going to drown them ultimately. And so this is pathetic what the British government's trying to do, I think. What do you feel?
It is. I agree. It's coming out more and more by the day. But the point is, the fourth estate should be holding our politicians and our leaders and, the wealthy and top of industries and all this sort of stuff to account. But they're not, because they're invested in the scam as well.
Yeah.
They're so deep in it that there is, and that's my point, David. We could easily get to a Nuremberg 2.0 if the fourth estate was going, oh, hang on, what about all these deaths? What about all these injuries? What about this and the other? But they're not. They're backing up the health secretaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. To expect anything from the so-called fourth estate is foolishness in the extreme. I'm sure I've said this in the last couple of days. I look upon the media as they're part of the cabal. They've been bought and paid for. It's the advertising revenues from government that kept them afloat for the past couple of years. They've all been bought off. Now, some of them are trying to do little U-turns so that in the event, Jed, of some kind of post-vax tribunal, that their hands can be clean. And that's something I did put a podcast up about today, because I think there's a reason Boris Johnson was bundled out of power in 2022, and there's a reason Rishi Sunak has been bundled into power in 2022, and none of it's very good. Canadian, I just want to bring a couple of comments up, Jed, and then we'll come back. Canadian Mom says, Diamond from Diamond and Silk died 2 days ago. So sad. Yes, Canadian Mom, I did see that. I didn't put anything out about it, but hang on a second. What is someone I want to come to in a second? I did see that, and I was very sorry to see her. She was only, I think, in her late 50s or whatever. So that's sad. I also saw, by the way, that there were people gloating at her death. The left are horrible people. But hang on, Chet, hang on. We've got Dave Angel over
Dave
on.
Angel. Okay, yeah. You want me to bring that one up?
Can we bring up Dave
Yeah.
Angel? Dave Angel says, it's clear you don't understand the science and misrepresent everything for clicks. You should be sectioned for your own safety. Hey, troll, good to see you. Thanks for giving up such your valuable time to come on and spout garbage. And people like this, trolls like this, have basically had it their own way so long, and now they have to understand that the tides are turning, and they don't get it their own way anymore. So why don't you come at me, Dave Angel, on my Twitter? See how you get on. You wouldn't dare come near me and get her, and now you can't do it on Twitter as well. Stop crying and stop wasting my time. By the way, I don't want. So that's as much of my time, Dave Angel, as you're ever gonna get. Bye bye. Anyway,
Oh, he's come back. He's come back.
yeah.
Here we go, David. He says we're spouting garbage.
Yeah, he's come back. Well, I mean, and he can actually use a keyboard. I'm impressed that he has a keyboard and able to actually almost.
Oh, well, he's under supervision of his mother. Yeah, and he's got parental locks on it, so there's certain words he can't use.
Donny girl, I regret to say he wasn't joking. I think there are absolutely biotech babes, right? Actually, trolls are abusive. It's in their natural mode of things. But Beth Pins here points out Rishi, father-in-law, digital ID software company. These are exactly the points, Beth, that we've been talking about. We know what's going on. We see through them all. And actually, Jed, back to your point on the media. Of course, we can't trust the fourth estate because they're the enemies of freedom and liberty. That's who they are.
But again, David, you know me, I will plug the website at every opportunity I can. I mean, you did one today. The media's gone blind. The media is blind on this topic. It's blind because it's so heavily invested.
Well, the way I put it, Jed, and I'm sure, look, everybody listening, and even you don't have to believe that the vaccine's causing all the damage, but there is so much excess deaths around at the moment that even Field Marshal Julia Hartley Brewer felt an obligation to mention it yesterday. Now, she was talking this could be caused by, let me see, ambulance drivers, NHS and strike.
Everything but
Climate change, possibly white supremacy.
Oh, did you know, David?
Yeah.
Did you know in 40 years' time, the ozone hole will be closed?
Well,
I thought it was already closed.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well, see, that'll stop all deaths then. That'll be it. The whole climate change scam will be finished. Vaccines will be safe, 100% and effective, and nobody will have any adverse reactions, and nobody will die from it. Once the ozone layer, it's all down to the ozone layer, David. The hole in it.
Yeah, well, it's certainly not down to the vaccine. If we go by the likes of Talk Radio, if we go by the Daily Mail, if we go by BBC, they don't want to talk about the massive elephant standing in the middle of the room, the massive elephant that Andrew Bridgen tried to reference, and for him having the audacity, Jed, to just say, hey, listen, I mean, I've been talking to people, I've got, experts in the field, and they've raised concerns. I've got concerns about my constituents. Can't we talk about this? The answer is, boom, no, you can't talk about it. You must shut up. That's my major problem with the Rishi Sunak in particular administration, because I think Rishi Sunak is going to prove to be, Jed, more dangerous and much worse than Boris Johnson ever was. And, that's my view. And I think the links between Rishi and his father-in-law's digital ID company and Rishi and the World Economic Forum, I think that will emerge in the next year. I think, look, this is actually definitely, I would recommend that if you want, you could go and listen to the digital ID boa constrictor, because just like a boa constrictor, that big snake, and that big snake the way it kills you, it just wraps its way around you slowly, very slowly, putting pressure on you and more pressure and more pressure, and then you're dead.
Yeah, no, it is, David. And like, I think the problem is that they're all in hook on this one. And that is the problem. That's what we have to fight. We're not just fighting one corrupt government or one corrupt health authority. We're fighting global government, global health authorities. That's what we're fighting. And global media.
Yeah, that's why the Nuremberg 2.0, I find it hard, like you, Jed, to see it, because the judiciary are amongst those who are culpable. Certainly, all the politicians, or virtually all the politicians are, all the media, Jed, so many celebs. Although, by the way, I did see the comment there a minute or two ago from Brian Baru put out Ellen DeGeneres saying that over there in the YouTubes, Mother Nature's angry as she looks on a raging flood to the side of one of her mansions. Oh yes, Brian Baru. I didn't comment on that one today, but I saw it. I saw an Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah, we could ask some questions about old Ellen, couldn't we, if we wanted? We'll not go there, but Donny Girl says, oh, poor Ellen, I used to live in that area, 45 minutes away from Santa Barbara. Blitzer, hi Blitzer, by the way, I meant to welcome you, says, Rishi looks like Roland Rat, sounding like an android. I bet Rishi would fail the Turing test. Yeah.
I'm going to show my age now, or Penfold from Danger Mouse.
Oh, yep. I remember Penfold as well. Again, some more comments. Beth says, I've lodged Amazon. Buy local, support farmers and farm shops. Yeah, much healthier, much better for you, and much more important for our future economies if we don't support these large globalist tyrannies, which make life easy. And this is the point, actually, Jed, this is the point about the digital ID. You see, the thing is, it's always going to be sold. It's going to make your life easy. Jed, you go out.
That's what it is. That's the problem, David. And it will be. Oh yeah, it's an easy thing. It makes no difference. You can have it on your phone. Oh, and they go, oh great, I've got it on my phone. So I've got my phone, so I can do text, phone calls. I can do WhatsApps. I can do Signal. Don't forget to get Signal. It's better than WhatsApp. Pay. I got Apple Pay or Google Pay or who gives a crap who pays. And now I've got all my ID on my phone too. And ain't it that great? And ain't it great when I lose it and I can't do nothing?
Yeah, which is exactly what they want to do. They want us with a digital ID. Rishi Sunak, I mean, absolutely 100% behind this. And that's why we have to be vigilant. I think, Jed, I don't know how you feel in this one, but after doing battle here for a couple of years against the COVID narrative, I believe that we have essentially had some success, maybe not overwhelming success, but I think the dam is broken and we're getting all the receipts. We see what's happening. So we've had good progress in that area. But we have to remember that many regards, the purpose of the vaccine was to get the digital IDs. So they will still hank around. Now, there was a great victory one 2 days ago. I don't know if all of you folks picked up on this one, Jed. I covered it in the podcast. But again, going back to the digital boa constrictor, Thailand, I think it was yesterday, had said that they were imposing, you had to have digital proof of your vaccination status before you, it's sort of linked to that one, before you could enter Thailand, right? Thailand. And that was just sort of presented as a fait accompli. Yesterday, the day it was supposed to happen, Jed, the Thai government said, no, we're not. We've changed our mind. We've had a change of mind. So all this says to me is that we can push back and we should push back. And if we do push back, Jed, these globalists, conniving boa constrictors, they will back off a bit. They will back off a bit.
They will to some degree, but look, I mean, we're going through the voter ID thing at the moment in the UK, aren't we? Mm-hmm. And I think the next election, is you're going to have ID of some description. Yeah, whether it's a passport, driving license, or the government ID, Now, that government ID initially I think will be a plastic card with your photograph on it, yeah, and your name, date of birth, that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
But very quickly, the government go, look, that's costing millions and millions. If we did it electronically, it wouldn't cost us anything. Yeah. So what they'll do, that's how they'll get to digital ID after voter ID.
You think so? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Well. You see, here in Northern Ireland, Jed, if you want to vote, you do have to show a form of ID. So if I was going to vote, because I always have my driving license on me, because I have to drive to vote. So I would show my driving license, and that would be fine. I don't think that in itself is sinister, because it actually stops some of
No,
the.
but what they'll say is overall, because of the people that don't have driving licenses or passports and therefore need a form of ID which the government will provide for you, yeah, you just fill
Yeah,
out the form or go to the council office or whatever it happens to be. What they'll say is that is costing too much. Where if it was digital on your phone, and that's how they'll bring it in.
yeah. Well, the thing is, listen, like we don't trust these people. We absolutely do not trust them or their motivations, because we know where this one goes.
But the thing is, see, what people need to understand, and I think people on this stream do understand, is once you grow digital ID and everything's on that digital ID, so your health status, so your vaccines or no vaccines, or what, and other health information about you, your date of birth, it's so easy to go. David Vance said something on social media that we disagree with as a government. So what we're going to do is restrict his access to cash, or sorry, to be able to spend, because to be able to spend, they're going to ask him in a shop to show his digital ID,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
block his digital ID for a period of time. They
yeah.
won't
Oh, yeah.
block your money; they'll block your digital ID to verify who you are. That's how
And
they'll
Jed,
get you.
yeah, and Jed, just as we warned everybody about these so-called vaccines and the lockdowns and all of that, and were vilified for doing it, we've been proven right on every front. And I think, Jed, we will also be proven right on every front regarding this. But the difficulty here is if they get the instigation of digital IDs, that's it. It's endgame. It is
Yeah, no,
absolutely
that's it.
endgame.
If they get digital ID, that is it.
Yeah,
Because no government after that has been introduced will rescind it. They'll
no, because
because they'll use it for their own purposes too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because they'll go. Oh, they'll tell you before they get to power. Vote for us. We'll sort out digital ID. We'll stop all this blocking you from this and blocking you from that because you've said this and because you've said that because they wanted to check your thinking. And what they'll do then is go, all right, we're now in power, but what we could use that digital ID to do is track where people go, or track what people buy, or track what people, yeah, and it just goes on and on, David.
Well, there's a couple of comments here I wanted to read out. Northern Monkey over in Getter says they want to get rid of cars. So why would you need a driving license, David? Yeah, Northern Monkey, I suspect you're right there. And I also see Leslie Butler says it's not compulsory to have a phone. Not yet,
No,
Leslie.
not yet, but it
Not
will
yet.
be.
Not yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when mobile phones came out and they were such a rare thing. Now, and I mean, I don't know what everyone's experience in this one is, but I go out into like coffee shops and places like that, and you see people sitting around and like I don't have a phone. I don't actually have my phone in the room with me, but they're sitting with the phone. They're just sitting submerged into their phones. I remember going to not China, Hong Kong, in I think it was about 2012, 2013 or so. I remember there, and I remember being on the Hong Kong Underground jet and being in one of the the carriages of the and all the locals, all the Hong Kong people, they were all sitting engrossed in their phone, and I thought that was weird. And now,
Yeah,
Jed,
no, it is, David, and it's I see it all the time, and I'll tell you now, my good lady has a mobile phone, but it's the only static mobile phone in the world. And when she goes out by herself, I say, "Love, take your phone, please, take your phone. At least you can call me." Yeah,
yeah,
she never does. So it sits on the computer desk and it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, so it's a static mobile phone. But the thing is, and all it's been said about all those people that don't have a mobile phone. The government will provide you with a mobile phone. Once digital ID comes in, you will not get out and go, oh, I don't have a mobile phone or I have a dumb phone. They'll go, no, here's a smartphone. Because they want to track everything you do. And you see, my lad, one of my lads, he does everything on his phone, pays by his phone, does the whole work on his phone. And he's more than happy to have digital ID. But he's of that generation that will. And it's that generation that'll go, yeah, let's vote for it. Let's have that. Let's have it. And there, because they can't see further their arm where their phone is.
Yeah. I mean, Beth says over on the Getter, I can see, she says, the day we get rid of smartphones and go back to analog, this stops. And that is very true. But I'm not sure that the majority of people will do that. Hi, James Jameson, by the way. Great to see you, my friend, on the stream. The other thing is, City Troll also says, and this actually, Leslie might answer some of your queries. City Troll makes the point, you won't need a phone because you'll be chipped. And he's got a point there, hasn't he, Jed?
Well, he has, because in some Scandinavian countries already, they're chipping people, aren't they? So they can buy drinks and things that work out of the vending machines and stuff like that, and they can let themselves into the building. Now that is freaky. And if you think that is normal or easy, makes my life easier, you have seriously lost all connection with reality.
Yeah, the thing is though that they seduce people on the basis of we look. Our only interest is we want to make your life easy. We're going to make it easy for you. It's so easy. So just 3 weeks, Jed. Remember, just 3 weeks to flatten it. Just one shot. Remember,
we're making but that's it, David. Just one ID. It'll just be for voting. It'll just be when you go to the bank. It'll just be when you go to the supermarket. It will just be when you go to the pub. It will just be when you leave the house.
Yeah. No, there's absolutely no doubt that this is the big thing. Leslie says they're not chipping me. No, they're not chipping. I don't suspect us pure bloods will be the people who will be chipped. But the issue for us is, how do we have a life if we are to be denied, being able to go to the shopping and buy your groceries? How can you do that if the stores turn around and say, we're not taking cash anymore? As some, you see more and more of this. I'm not saying supermarkets, but like I see different shops who say, it's credit card only or tap, you tap only. This is all very deliberate.
But this is it. We have to fight back against that, because cash, the old saying, cash is king. We have to keep cash as king. And the reason the government and banks and everybody else that really wants you to have it on your phone, wants to have digital cash and digital IDs, the reason they don't want you to have cash is because they don't know where you spend it or what you spend it on.
Yeah.
That is a problem to them. Because, for example, let's say we're now 5 years down the road, and to be able to drive my car, I need petrol to go. I do have a hybrid, but I need petrol. And I get to the pump, and with my digital ID, I go and I swipe ready to pay, and they say, no, sorry, you've used all your carbon for this month.
Yeah.
Well, if it's cash, well, they don't know I've spent it on petrol. They just know I drew it out the wall, in the machine in the wall. And that is where they want us to be, because then they can go, no, you've drove your 200 miles this month. You can't have any more fuel. And those that go, oh, well, I'll go all electric. Don't worry, I'll go electric.
Oh, worse. Much worse.
First of all, I'm just on a bit of a rant here, David. But first of all, if you go all electric and you want to pay for your charger out on the public highway, then you're paying the same as you would be for petrol. But they go, but I can charge at home. If you have a charger now fitted to your home, it has to have its own electricity meter. Why? So they can charge you a different rate to charge your car than the electricity you get in your home. That is why your charger will have to be on a separate meter, so they can go, This meter is for charging cars. So therefore, the current rate for charging cars, example, 20p per kilowatt, whatever it is, where your house might be 2p per kilowatt. You see what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
Therefore, they can go, well, you've still got a petrol car, but we can stop you with digital ID. You've got an electric car. Well, you've got a smart meter. We'll turn that electric off to your charger, and you can't charge.
Yeah. Yeah. I also saw today, Jed, by the way, there was a story in the press regarding electric vehicles saying that the uptake on them has been less advanced than the government thought. Part of that is because of the great expense of electric vehicles. And
Well, I sent you that article, didn't I, David? And you see,
great article.
We've drifted away here. We've drifted away, but it's all interconnected, and we've gone from vaccine damage and Andrew Bridgen to electric cars and digital IDs, and the reason for it is it's all interconnected. It is all by design.
Yeah, and it absolutely is, and that's the thing I think that we have to push, Jed, in 2023. The fact that everything is linked. There are no coincidences. Everything is linked. I think, Jed, I see you trying to find maybe the article. This was by Giles Corran, and this was really actually an excellent little article. Why I've pulled the plug on my electric car, and I read it. I read it a couple of times actually, and it's very good. But he's been he recognizes he bought himself. I think it was a Jaguar I-Pace, and he now realizes, despite what 65 grand or whatever it is, he's scuppered. He's absolutely scuppered, and it broke down in the middle of the.
That's right. But I sent you, and guys, you can go and watch this. It's called the Mac Master. Yeah, his channel on YouTube is called the Mac Master. He does things like vlogs on takeaways and stuff like that, and all sorts of different things. And he's a tech guy, and he's had a Porsche Cayenne or wherever it is, fully electric, for over a year, and he's taking it back. He's got it on lease. He's taking it back, and he will never have another. He said being full electric is absolutely nightmare. You can never find a charger that works. When you do find chargers, there's queues for them. You're constantly having range anxiety. They don't go as far as normal cars, and they never will go as far as normal cars. And he's got a charger at home. And he's saying even the price now is costing me a fortune to charge at home. So they're not the answer. And that's his point. They're not the answer. It's called Mac Master. His channel, go and have a look. He's done quite a few about his car now, and he will not have an electric.
Yeah, I've actually, on Jed's advice, I've subscribed to that channel and listened to some of the stuff. It's very good. I think the thing is, Jed, like that chap who does that, he's a kind of down to earth, ordinary bloke, really. And and this is the thing, though. This is the big insight to have on this one. We've talked about this, Jeff, for such a long time on the whole electric vehicles things. But the bit that clarified it in my mind was I used to be very naive and think, well, maybe they'll develop the electric infrastructure so that everyone can move on to electric. No. The intent is that probably 90% of people in the future won't be driving. There won't be.
That's right.
That's the point.
You live in your smart city, and everything in between those smart cities will be rewelded.
Yeah,
it's in the plan. It's in the 2030 agenda, David.
But again, lots of great comments here. Biotech Babe says EVs are a joke. Scotland the Brave says electric cars will log everything. That's true.
Yeah.
Nettie Bradford says they only want us an electric car so we can be controlled. Absolutely. And then James Jameson over on YouTube.
Sorry, I'll bring it back up. Yep.
Yeah, it says if we all went electric cars, where's this extra electricity coming from? It ain't coming.
It's coming from the gas powered and the coal powered power stations. Believe it or not.
Yeah, which we're closing.
So green. The electric cars are so green, David. You know why? Because the emissions are done somewhere else. That's why. They're just not done out the exhaust pipe. But I'm telling you, I've done articles over at davidvance.net. I've wrote a few articles, particularly over the Christmas period, on net zero and the and batteries, etc. I'm just trying to get over there now, at least find the latest one I did.
Whilst you're doing that, I want to read out Nikki's comment. She says, "I think I can easily convert my carport to a stable." I might do that as well, Nikki. I've got a carport, and yeah, maybe get put a bit of hay in it might be more useful.
Yeah, so there's one I did, David, over Christmas that people can go and have a look at why wind and solar energy will not replace fossil fuels. I did why net zero is unachievable.
Yep.
And I have done a couple of others on the
yeah. You
go
were on a
over and
roll
give them a
there.
good read, guys. There's other people that write as well. I just want to plug, if you want to be a writer, that's fine. There's you can just submit your article there, and we'll review it and stick it up. You don't even have to use your own name.
And as Leslie Butler says, no electric car for me, thanks. I love my 11-year-old petrol Mini. I mean, actually, I'll be honest with everyone. I did buy I've got a hybrid, and initially I thought it was quite good. The hybrid part was very much the minor part. So, but for very local journeys of a couple of miles, it probably was okay. But then, of course, Jed, as you rightly point out, electricity prices are going through the roof. So there's absolutely.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you go for Toyota, which are self-charging hybrids, then and people go, but a Toyota, it only gives you a few miles on full electric. Yes, it does. It's designed to reduce fuel that you use. And I'm telling you now, that car, my car is a CHR. 2000, it's on an 18 plate, and I've had it from new. And it states on the ticket 74 miles per gallon. And I have got out of it driving sensibly 70 miles per gallon. And that was going across the Yorkshire Dales from one side of the country to the other side regularly as clockwork. And I was getting 70 miles per gallon. I then did a motorway trip, kept it at 65 miles per hour, all the way from where I live in Lancashire, all the way down to the docks at Tilbury. I'm back on one tank of fuel, and the fuel tank is a 45-litre fuel tank.
Yeah.
So you can do it with a hybrid. You just have to drive differently.
Yeah, but hang on. Hybrids are going to be outlawed from 2035.
No, they are, David. But that's the point. They'll realise the mistake and eventually have to go, well, we'll have to have hybrids, won't we? Because there will not be enough charging facilities. The whole country, we will have blackouts.
But I think they want that. But
to some degree they do. And
yeah,
they do it for some degree, David. But the thing is, it's not a vote winner, is it? When you've just spent 6 months with every other night, you've got a blackout.
Well, you're probably right. I wouldn't think it is. But I mean, if you're talking about it's not a vote winner, is closing down the British economy for a couple of years, is that a vote winner?
Well, it was a vote winner to some degree because people were being paid to sit on their arse. But now they're paying the consequences with
all right,
and higher taxes.
Yeah, I mean, Rishi Sunak was very popular when he was essentially bankrolling people to sit at home and do nothing. Yeah, he was really popular then. The minute that situation changes and all of a sudden you have to look at the other side of the fiscal divide, then he's not so popular. I mean, everyone loves something for nothing. But no, I think anyway. Look, this whole business about the kind of net zero, because I see the comments coming here. Net zero is completely and utterly unachievable unless you absolutely level the Western economies, which I do think is part of the narrative. If they can do that, I think they'd be quite happy to do that. And Nettie Bradford says, I guess many of us won't be driving anywhere. I think that's also probably what they want, which is why
it is. Yeah, that's where we've mentioned on this show before, David, where you'll be living your smart city and a little utility vehicle that holds 6 people will drive past, like a bus, drive past regularly, and you hop on, and it'll take you down the shops, and you hop off. Yeah, and it'll be autonomous, it'll be self-driving, and it will just do that trip, and they'll build loads of them, and you'll just hop on and hop off, and there's 15-minute cities. We've heard this now, haven't we? 15 minutes, and this is what they're talking. Everything is 15 minutes.
Another conspiracy theory proven right. We told people that the World Economic Forum and the rest of the cabalists want this, and we see it, Jed, and I think we saw it in Oxford. We've seen it in, I think it was Colchester. We saw it in Canterbury. It's going to happen right across, not just the UK, but the world. They want us controlled. That's the bottom game in this. City Troll says to reach net zero, you have to eliminate all cattle. Beth Pin says, I still cannot believe people think CO2 is the enemy. Well, that's how successful the PSYOPs is, Beth, that they can make something which is the friend of human life and plant life into the enemy. CO2.
I'll just say to Beth, though, and I'll just say to everybody else, why did they pick CO2? They picked CO2 because it's a byproduct of everything that makes life livable.
Yeah, which shows how psychopathic these people are.
Yeah.
It's murderous, Jed. If they got the CO2 levels down to what they want, basically life on this planet would become non-sustainable. Do you know? I mean, it's really that simple if these monsters get their way. Chris Davies here, just bringing up a few more comments. Chris says, did you hear about the Paris stabbing on the news at Gare du Nord? Well, I heard a little bit about it, Jed, but it kind of went quiet. Chris, but it went a bit quiet. I have no idea why that might be.
Yeah. If you know it's gone quiet, you know why.
And then Dave Barker, I just want to bring up Dave. Thanks for your comment, Dave. 15,000 people in a big hole digging lithium out, then transporting it by diesel power, producing 3 to 20 tons of CO2 to make one car battery. Yeah, I mean, this is the bit that actually puzzles me about Elon Musk. Now, I've got mixed views on Elon Musk. I think some of the things he does is possibly okay, but the essence of Tesla is what Dave Barker said. You're going to have to extract, as you know, Jed, you understand this better than me. It's getting the lithium out of the mines. It's getting the cobalt out of the earth. That's incredibly damaging. So I'm just wondering, so how does this help? But how does this help the planet?
And that is the smoke and mirrors about it all. It doesn't help one iota. I'm now scrolling back through to find because I'm trying to find an article I wrote, because there's some graphics some pictures in there that actually show you those mines of the lithium. It shows you the kids digging it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Evils of battery technology on the developing world. I'm just going to bring it up. It's on davidvance.net, of course. We're all good. Where you can read all good articles by, look at those lovely batteries there, thousands of them ready to go. But this is what you get, David. This is what the reality of it all. The images are there to see. Vast ways of the country. Set out as like salt planes so they can dry the lithium out before they transport it. Kids down tiny holes digging for cobalt.
Yeah,
it's a crime. That is crimes against humanity. But no, they're quite happy, and then tens of thousands of cars where the batteries have now gone tits up.
Yeah,
and they're just stuck there. Give it a read, guys. I'm passionate about wanting to breathe clean air, but I'm also not stupid to believe that CO2 is so evil. Go and give it a read. Pop over to davidvance.net, give it a read, leave your comments. There's lots of people leaving comments over there now on articles and on podcasts. It's brilliant. And put your 2 pennies worth in. If you think you could write something, write it and we'll put it up.
I mean, as Beth points out here, it's basic science. CO2 encourages plant growth and conversion to oxygen. Absolutely. Scotland the Brave says they are gaslighting us all. But the good thing is, I think we see it. We see absolutely through them. City Troll makes the point. It gives the Chinese a monopoly on all energy. Well, City Troll, the whole issue of China and how the West interacts with China is something we need to call out a lot more in 2023, I think, because a lot of bad stuff starts in China, but people don't always see the connections. But we will get to them. But I think, Jade, you just got to be a bit careful there on what you were saying, because if word of that gets to Greta Thunberg, you could be in trouble. She might have to tweet at you, and look at what she achieved by tweeting at Andrew Tate. So
Well,
beware
yeah.
the
That's I
wrath
could
of the
have the police
hobgoblin from
looking down my
Sweden.
door, couldn't I?
Yeah.
To check my thinking.
Check your thinking. Now,
Yeah,
listen, we're coming towards the end, Jed, but I wondered if we could put up. I know you've got something you want to play. I
yeah,
recognize it, but I wanted to make people aware of an event which I'm
yeah.
going to be at in a couple of hours, but just through less than 3 weeks' time, um, in England, where we have there's a weekend of free thinking, of good humor, hopefully. I'm sure, in fact, there will be good humors because we got literally comedians at it. And if you want to, I wonder, can we bring up the picture, Jed? Alone, that'll probably do. I know there's a little video thing, but I don't care.
Well, if I can play the video as we go, David. So
Okay, so look. Just first of all, before to start off with, so you can see it's people like Kitty Hopkins, comedians Andrew Lawrence, Alistair Williams, of course the lovely Abby Roberts. We've got our good pals Richard and Fred. The right said Fred. We've got Gareth Ike. You can see. And then below that, and this, I don't know who that guy is. Avoid him like the plague.
yeah,
You've got
I would. I would.
I totally would. Yeah, he's probably a climate denier. Oh, hang on. There he is. So, right. There we go. That's it. I will be there on the Saturday. Saturday, I think, Jed, is the 28th. Saturday, 28th, Sunday, 29th. I'll be in the afternoon. You'll be able to have, if you're in the audience, you'll be able to be part of a very special live podcast I'll be doing. And if you're there on the Sunday, we're going to have a little session on citizen journalism. So, as I say, if you're around, you can go to the link and you can buy tickets. A weekend on the edge, and believe you me, I'll make damn sure I'm as edgy as possible. So the laughter stops with me, but the others can, Katie and all, can get you all chuckling. Peter McIlvenna, I should have said, thanks for reminding me. My good friend Peter McIlvenna will also be on the gig. And for those of you who watch Hearts of Oak, I will be live with Peter McIlvenna this Saturday, doing the thing that we do over there. So you can catch me on Saturday evening live with Peter, and you can catch me in the flesh if you want to go along to that weekend. So listen, I think that is pretty much. Canadian Mom, you're way too kind, but thank you so much for your hard work, for your kind words, and it's all the reward that we like to get for the effort we put in. So, Jed, I think I'm going to wrap it up in a second. Before I go, just again a reminder to everybody: thank you so much for all your support that we had in 2022. We've got lots of plans for 2023. The first one will be the special live podcast, which if you can come to and be part of, if you want, if you're in England, that is. And there's other plans as well. The celebrity interviews will also recommence in the next week or so. So we've got lots of stuff, and of course we continue to be absolutely the resistance. The resistance starts here. And I know you're all part of it. So listen, on the Getter stream, thanks for being there. On the YouTube stream, over in the Twitters, everywhere. Thank you guys
Rumble, Odyssey, just to name a few, David, and Twitter.
Exactly. We shouldn't forget Rumble, Odyssey, all the rest, and we appreciate that. And I
D
think
Live as well.
Yeah, and yeah, and just to finish off, because Jed always likes to finish on a funny. I recognize with this when you're going to play. This is Jed. What you're going to play, and in case people haven't seen it, is reason for I keep calling for the asteroid of death to visit this planet because I suspect humanity has kind of reached its end. And what you're going to play is probably evidence of that theory. But anyway, I'll leave that one for you to play. Thank everyone for being here on the stream. And Jed, if you want to play out in that, that's great. Catch you all on the podcast live stream tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, David, you know me. I like showing the stupidity of people. And these are the sort of people that will go, yeah, I love digital ID. I'll leave you with the stupid. Here we go.
What I don't get is like Australia's like 16 hours ahead of us. So like why didn't they warn us like when the Queen died? Like why didn't they tell us that the Queen was going to die? Because obviously they already knew because like they're in the future. Like they should have told us so we could prepare ourselves and know that she's going to die so we can not be upset about it.